Guten Tag. That is German for what's up. Sorry we are late. Life finds a way to happen. But yes, we are back. Once again, we are Eldritch Creations. We're no longer the Elder Brain. I almost said we were the Elder Brain, but that's who we were before. But we are now Eldritch Creations, and we are back for episode 79 of Sea of Souls. Starting a little bit late, so tonight's episode will be a little bit shorter. We'll be planning to end around our usual time, so we'll just cut things a little bit short. But please do check out our VODs on our YouTubes, and if you haven't subscribed on the Twitch, you should, because it's cool and it helps us out a lot, and you can do some fun stuff. But at least follow us as well. That would be awesome. But enough of my blabbering on.
Only on the internet. Don't actually follow us around as we walk around the streets and stuff.
That's true, yes. Unless you have 10.5 million euros to give us, then that would be... Then feel free to follow us and hand that over. That'd be fantastic. Anyways. Brief catch-up of our previous episode, where lots happened in a short amount of time. After Talon woke from his void encounter with an alternate version of himself, a chaos-powered portal opened within the infirmary. Something that should not be possible. Alternate version with standard magic born of the weave. Runix, now in the form of a revenant in service to High Captain Vargost, emerged from the portal declaring that he had been tasked with killing Dinar and would be unable to stop until either he or his target were truly dead. After a harrowing encounter, Runix's tortured form was burned to ashes by Flick's flaming sphere, and as his indentured soul began to float away, Dinar quickly cast Soul Cage, spell he's been sitting on for a while, trapping Runix's soul within the tiny silver cage used as a component for the spell. Dinar, even now, you can feel the rage churning within the contraption in your hands, but for the moment at least, Runix is captured and incapacitated. The infirmary guards have taken up positions near the resting patients in the other part of this infirmary wing, unsure about what to do against this really unexpected threat. And Ariel and Diane have offered up some healing to the three of you as they look questioningly and not quite approvingly at this tiny little cage that now holds somebody's soul. Finally breaking the uneasy silence that is settled in after this encounter, Yariel bursts out. What in all the dreaded abyss just happened? How did that happen? This entire place is protected by powerful sanctuary spells to prevent random portals from and teleportations from occurring. Who was that? What?
But
please,
see,
can
you
you
let
please
us
explain
in,
what is going on?
and Chaos is like our biggest groupie.
I don't like the sound of that, but that doesn't give me an explanation. Somebody other than Talon, please tell me what
Chaos
just happened.
are the croutons of our life soup.
All right, enough with the soup. So, basically what you need to understand is that Runix, or whatever that just was, is not using conventional magic. He's using a different weave of magic than the rest of us. So, I'm imagining that your sanctuary, your spells of protection were not viable against that type.
You see, your protection wards are kind of like a strainer, right? And
if you talk about soup one more time, well, I'm going to leave you and go get some.
So, his analogy's not terrible, actually. If you think about a strainer, it's going to block out certain things and let other things through. Let's just say
I understand the metaphor.
His magic is not what you're straining for.
Diane chips in. So
I think this metaphor is kind of strained poisonally, but
well, hey,
just a little bit.
Just a little. 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 Just a little.
I can't imagine that any of the protections we've ever put in place would even take into consideration that there'd be another source of magic that especially with the Arcanum Accords outlawing any kind of chaos magic, but we didn't even know this was possible.
Yeah, funny thing about bad guys, they don't care so much about rules and accords and stuff, right?
Right. Okay, but who was that? He seemed to know you guys very specifically. Dinar obviously is coming after you. And please confirm this for me. That little cage that you have, you've captured his soul?
Yes, that's correct.
That seems morally dubious.
Yeah.
It really does. And in a temple of a goddess, no less. I am not sure. I get it. Bad dude. Obviously, some evil stuff going on there, but why did you do that? And what's going to happen to his soul?
Oh, when basically I use up 6 questions of his soul, he will be free.
What? Why 6? That seems arbitrary.
That is the power of this spell, my friend. It can't hold him forever.
Has anybody ever created the spell that can do 7?
Well, that's impossible. We're talking 11th level spells here.
Yeah, cast that baby.
Oh, okay.
Where did I get that knowledge from? Okay. I'm gonna look the other way on there being a soul trapped, but I can't be a part of questioning
I was gonna
a trapped soul. I don't think I can be involved in this.
two things to put your conscience at ease. One, dude was already dead, so we're just sort of waylaying his soul on his way to the
that really seems to make it a lot more morally dubious if you considering we're in a church.
And
to prevent one's soul from going to the afterlife is the sort of thing that gods of undead do. The sort of thing that
momentarily
we're
merely detaining it for questioning, and then we'll let it on its merry way. It's fine, totally fine.
This has been a lot.
But Dinar, how long have you been interested in necromancy?
It is not something
That's
that
a fair
I
question.
tend to dabble in, but there have been uses.
Oh, it's convenient. Is that what you're saying?
There are certain things that are useful.
Yeah, Ariel has like taken a step back at this point. It's just like,
look,
I insist that whatever you're about to do with that contraption and his soul, to do it here.
That's fine. I had no intention.
Tayland you have recovered. There's still some questions as to what happened with the other one of you, but since either version of you is no longer a patient here, I don't know how else to say this, but I think it's time that you will leave.
Fair enough.
For the sake of the other patients here and our safety, whatever's following you and whatever's going on here, you need to take it elsewhere.
I mean, I feel like we've solved the problem, right? I mean, he can't exactly come after us if he's in that cage.
He's in this cage for 8 hours.
Oh.
So we should not be here when those 8 hours...
I mistook this spell for something useful.
No, you will not be here when those 8 hours. In fact, you will not be here within the hour.
No.
I'm being very insistent on it. I appreciate
hear me out.
Fighting that and solving this mystery with the tail end that we had here, but
hear me out, Dinar.
This is not the place for whatever it is that you are getting involved in. So
we sail out into the ocean for 8 hours and then drop the cage underwater?
This cage was not cheap, and I might need it again.
Plus, what do souls care about water? Like once it's free, it's gone, right? Like that's
Yeah, eight
I don't know how
hours.
this works.
It's not I that release it. The spell will only last for 8 hours, at which point it will leave on its own.
It's not a very good cage, then, is it? It's really more of a drunk tank.
Exactly.
They should rename it to Soul Drunk Tank.
Anyways,
it kind of reminds me of something that my Uncle Pinch would have made back in the day.
Anyway, we'll be out of your hair.
wait. I need to hear about Uncle Pinch.
I mean, he was handy, right? Not like practical handy, just handy.
Walk and talk, boys.
Yeah.
Walk and talk.
As we're walking out, this is the story that she's hearing as we're leaving. He's more the I made this broken shovel into a shoehorn. What do you mean we don't wear shoes? Kind of handy.
Listen, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for them to tell me to leave.
So yes, we'll walk and talk. Yeah. Where are we headed? Probably back to the safe house.
Here's a problem, guys. I noticed that this sword didn't come with a sheath. So where do I put this?
Just stuff it down your back.
Yeah, that seems safe. I guess I could just shove it in my belt.
Yep.
You figured that on the way through the city you could probably find somewhere that's got a sheath.
Yeah, like a sword frog or something.
For a couple of copper that's going to fit.
Okay, cool. Because I'm just I don't really want to walk around with a sword that looks incredibly magical. I feel like it's like putting a target on your back.
What?
You have a magic sword. You can handle whatever target gets put on you.
Yes, that works so well for wizards, doesn't it, Flick?
Absolutely.
Was this the only thing we were doing in town? Like, are we just going back to the safe house?
No, this was sort of a side journey. Because we were like, oh, there's an unconscious Tayland. We should look into that.
Yes.
Well, we did.
So the only other official business that you have in town was a artificer contact that Serena had for you.
Yes.
Whose workshop was up near the shipyards.
How long will it take us to get there?
I think we saved that for last because it was kind of like the final thing that we needed to do.
To walk from where you guys are up to the shipyards?
Yeah.
Probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Do we care about keeping me disguised still? I feel like we don't now.
I mean, you tell me.
I mean, everybody who is gonna show up has already kind of shown up, so.
That's why I was missing a 5th spell slot.
Seeming, yes.
Seeming, yes, that's right.
Yeah, then in that case, I mean, if you're out of seeming anyway, maybe we should conserve our resources.
Yeah,
I'll
pretty spent.
Pull up a scarf and just more or less be inconspicuous, but I don't think I can really hide the hair and everything else. So, but okay. I'll walk as if I'm not me.
Sure.
Ooh la dee dee, I'm a nobleman.
I mean, technically.
It's true, you are.
Fee diddle fee ho. I do sure enjoy looking down upon the lower classmen.
So as you travel out of the temple and start to head up towards the shipyards, you pass through the Pantheon district and Dinar, you once again see the Temple of Verithan in that section that you had briefly went and kind of gazed upon earlier. But you are required to pass through that district once again.
Is there...
You feel there's nothing super, obvious. There's just you feel a slight tug. You're not sure if it's just your own interest or perhaps something of Verison, but there is that little bit of a tug on your conscience, on your soul, perhaps, that, like, you almost kind of find yourself absent-mindedly, like taking a couple steps more towards the temple than along the road to where you guys are headed.
We're not in a rush to get out of this place, are we?
I mean, by the same token, we've really got nothing else keeping us here other than this one meeting. So, saving the world from Cosmos eating destruction might be higher up on the priority list.
Right. Okay. Well, let's just get going. I don't have all day on this spell.
All right. As you are making your way towards the workshop of this artificer, Dinar, you actually get a sending spell.
Oh.
From Serena. Dinar. Torque is muttering in meditation. He says he knows where Desfuna is. I'm not sure what he means. Where are you? Do you need me?
Torque muttering about Desfuna. That feels nostalgic. He's probably fine. We're heading to the docks, looking for your artificer. Pretty tapped. Maybe could use you.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'll let her know, but I don't have enough spell slots.
All right. Other than that, you're gonna just continue on.
Yeah.
Do you let us know that you've received this message, or you just sort of stop and mentally do this?
I feel like,
Hey, Dinar, you're awful quiet.
well, I was gonna say, despite Dinar's familiarity with the spell, I feel like he's still not great with sending. So
Still
while he
mouthing the
doesn't,
words.
I would say, while he doesn't have to say it out loud, I imagine Dinar, even with his fingers out, is also.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it's just like me and Flick have kept walking. We realize you're not there, so we just turn around. We just see you like just doing this in the road, and we're like, he's sending again.
Mhm.
Yes, if not obvious, Dinar will tell everybody the message that he just received from Serena.
Oy.
Okay. I mean, Torque's being weird. What else is new?
Yeah, I mean, we all know where Desfuna is, right? So,
I mean, Torque kind of is a little bit of zealous, you know. I don't know if you guys have noticed. He's a little overly fond of Desfuna.
With good cause.
yeah.
Might have been the whole acting as her own personal chariot thing, but
Probably something to do with it, yeah. Well, Serena's gonna meet us at the docks, I guess.
okay,
Oh.
cool.
Joy.
I love the docks. Docks are great.
Be a shame she fell in. Keep
Hey,
walking.
how long's it been? Have we eaten recently?
It's probably been a few hours or so since you've eaten.
I'm hungry. Any good carts selling stuff on the docks?
Oh, there's places to eat everywhere in Valenhold.
Why don't we sit
Can I
down
go-
somewhere?
Do
We
I know
can-
a good place that has like really good like imported rum or something that also serves like very nice north like cod or something? Some kind of like I assume it's mostly seafood.
Not only, but yeah, there's a lot of seafood, but there's a good variety. Passing through the merchant district actually, which is where you guys have to kind of go through that area, up through the Pantheon district.
Yeah,
to
because
get
we'd have
over
to go
the shipyards.
out the gates, right?
Yeah, so passing through the merchant district, there's street vendors, there's like plethora of taverns and little pop-up restaurants.
I think just a street vendor. We'll just grab something on the way.
Sure.
Get like
She's
some
looking
shish,
for-
shish kebab or something.
So just kind of like a common
Yeah, I don't need anything
meal
too
of food drinks
fancy.
for yourself.
Do we got like a walking taco or something?
Those are amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it cost you well, depending, you're gonna get food for all of you.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I assume Flick could eat, but I mean, I don't think he's gonna want anything they're selling.
Nah, I'll
He's gonna go
rummage in
around
the trash.
behind.
It'll be
Yeah, I was
fine.
gonna say he's gonna go around behind them.
You're looking for good rum,
Uh,
decent imported.
Decent. Doesn't need to
Alright.
be anything crazy.
So for the rum and a good fare of food, it'll cost you a gold, and it's good rum.
That's fine. That's worth it. I'll make a big deal out of it, being like, "Oh, this is me whole month's wager for a single pint of rum." You say, "Oh Lord, well, I suppose I can't go without it. Here you go."
The halfling cart keeper just like doesn't even blink an eye,
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't buy into it at all, just takes the gold and like hands it to you. Looks
That's
at the
good
next
stuff.
customer.
You know what you might like though, Flick? And
What's
it's
that?
not out of the garbage, but it is pretty good, and it is the thing you can get here. Deep fried squid on a stick.
Get
I
your
mean-
deep fried squid on a stick over here. Piked calamari.
Sure. I'll play nice.
We'll say you get that. It's all included in your gold.
Yeah,
becomes
okay,
whatever
yeah.
food you guys want.
Dinar, what do you want? You want
covers it.
like you want some calamari, you want some like cod, you want some tuna.
You know, I spent years on the high seas. I have eaten all of that stuff for so long.
I can guarantee you haven't
you
had
got
deep
any
fried
beef?
squid on a stick.
Oh yeah, there's beef.
You have not
There's
spent
not
any
only
time.
seafood. There's farmland all around Valenhold as well. It's got a good variety of livestock.
You got any of that wagyu
Offering, so.
stuff?
Wagyu what? Listen, you're wagging your mouth around in the wrong place. It's going to get you in some
Can we-
deep waters.
Can we get some prime rib?
Beef is
Well,
fine.
maybe.
Beef on a stick, even. Whatever.
Salted beef on a stick.
Oh, there's jerky, lots of jerky,
There you go.
like fresh.
I'll have
like
some of
lots
that.
salted,
That's
A
That's
stick
walking
of
food.
beef.
pork.
A meat
Some
log.
good salted pork as well, but
Oh, here,
quite good.
here, help yourself to your meat log.
Get your meat log here.
A meat roll up. Here you are.
Oh, jeez. Hey, man, street meat's amazing.
The street meat. Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff.
Street meat's
All right,
legit.
now that we're properly and adequately equipped for this meeting, you don't think she'll mind if we eat in front of her and didn't get her anything, right?
I imagine.
I think the stick tastes better than the squid, so she can have mine.
Do you think
I'll
Torque
put
would
it in my
find it
pocket for her.
offensive if we ate turtle on a stick in front of him?
yes, I do.
And we won't do that then. I gotta tell you though, tortoise meat, oh,
might be the last thing you ever eat. Yeah.
it's like chicken but more succulent and buttery. Oh,
You just hear from like across the city.
mean, surely that's no different
Hammer
than
comes
if he,
flying
if he
across
ate
the
a
sea.
like a if he ate like I don't know, like a pig in front of me, because apparently humans and pigs are very close. And
I was thinking more monkey, but yeah, I guess.
I mean, who's gonna eat a monkey? That's just wrong.
Or an orange. Apparently, we have DNA with them as well.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
so as we move on to the shipyards.
I think we've given Craig enough time to come up with what's next.
Oh, I already got what's next. Don't you worry about that. You forced me to have to come up with like different food types and things to fill in there. That's what you made me do.
That's right.
So, Tayland,
Yo.
what's your passive again?
Oh, something
Stupidly
ridiculous.
high, right?
It's
It's like
stupid.
it's 25 if it's sight.
All right. I'll give me a perception roll, anyways.
And dude, is this sight based?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have my handy dandy eye patch. 33.
Whoosh.
33. Okay.
Listen, that's the one thing I can do.
Yep.
That and performance.
You are the only one who notices off to the side, using some back alleys. You're not being tailed. You see a figure trying to stay quite hidden,
And failing.
moving quickly, kind of parallel to you. And as the figure kind of passes by an opening, you recognize Serena. That she is not only caught up to you, but is passing you.
Well, we can't have that now, can we? I'm just gonna take off. I'm gonna beat her
What?
there. I'm gonna parkour my way there and beat her there. Not in my town, not in my city.
Meanwhile, I'm standing there with Dinar. Like, did he see another girlfriend or something? What the hell?
Is he running towards something or away from something? I don't know.
Cousin this time.
Meanwhile, I'm chewing on my calamari stick, like the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine Flick and Dinar just slowly walk.
Yeah, we'll just take our time.
You just got the
Alright.
montage of me just doing like somersaults and wall runs and flips over fences. Just cuts to you guys just so.
Hey, look
yeah.
over there.
Knock over a guy's cabbage cart, and he's like,
My cabbages.
"No!"
One jump.
Bonus
head of
points.
a lawman,
Bonus points
one
if you get
kick,
that.
Head of a doom.
You get there just like a touch behind her.
Ah,
Right as she's kind of like sliding into like do the whole like she just slides into place like to be waiting, and she sees you and she's like,
oh, what took you so long?
"Well done, cousin." The others close behind you then?
Ah, well, you know them. They're always lollygagging around, never getting anything done.
I can't
Always
imagine.
waiting on Lord Talon to get the real work done.
Can I-
Flick's ears just twitch.
Can I ask you something before they
You just
before they
did.
catch up to us? Serious for a moment here, please, Taylor.
I am being serious.
Flick's distrust of me is he just putting on airs, or
It's
is there more
hard
to
to
it than
say.
that?
Flick doesn't trust most people. Have you tried feeding him garbage? That's the way to his heart.
Pretty sure that I did scrounge up food for all of you before.
Right, but I'm saying, like, look, reach into your pocket and say, hey, do you want this fruit roll up? It's been in my pocket for 6 months and I haven't been able to find a garbage for it yet.
Do you trust me, Taylor?
I feel like I have to, so I don't know if that's going to give you the solace you're seeking.
Good enough.
Do you care about what Flick thinks about you? Because, I mean, it's Flick.
Well, when I first met a lot of you, I would have said no. But surprising even myself, I think lately I am concerned about how I fit in with all of you and all of this.
Blake will come around, I think, the more that you can prove that you are trustworthy. I mean, let's be real. You were leading a double life, which doesn't instill trustworthiness by definition. So,
And I get that. Well,
I think you just need to have a really good moment where the real you just comes through, you know? Like, Flick's the kind of guy that if you were really selfish in a moment, he'd be like, hey, at least you're honest with yourself. And then he'd punch you right in the groin.
Helen, I've worn so many faces and names and put on so many costumes and personas that I'm not even sure I know the real me anymore. I mean,
Yeah, well,
you've all helped me find it a little bit, I think. Given me something.
we all wear a mask. The important thing is to make sure that whatever's behind it doesn't completely fade beneath it.
Wise words.
And if you think
Lord
about it,
Tayland.
we're all different people. And that's okay. You just got to keep moving so long as you remember all the people you used to be.
Something's changed about you. Can't put
Let's
my
just
finger
say
on it,
I've gained some otherworldly perspective.
is that a name for some sort of alcohol I haven't heard of yet?
It is now.
Some sort of exotic brand.
I also might have cabin fever.
Oh, lots of fun. I think they're coming.
How could you tell?
So, and you got to figure, a clockwork spoon is completely useless, right? And yet, oh look, hello, your worshipfulness. We are so glad to make your acquaintance yet again. I've got some pocket fish for you.
Oh.
Because the stick was way better than this crap. And I've got to pull from my pocket the calamari on a stick, except it's the calamari part, and it's been in my pocket for the whole walk over, and it kind of dripped in between my fingers, and sort of gesture it out to her. Eh? Eh.
Hey, Flick. Dinar.
Serena?
This is Lagrak's shop. He's from Stormhaven.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Artificers Guild there. Well, he's a bit of an odd one, even for that lot. I'd say that I trust him, and therefore you can trust him, but I know that's that won't mean much to everyone. But anyway, shall we?
Yeah, let's.
Shall.
Mm-hmm. Got my eyes on you as always, sister. Let's roll.
She gives you a look that's less of her kind of what's what I'm looking for, like false confidence, you know, that she kind of bravado that she carries. She just kind of gives almost like a sad little smirk where she just goes and turns and heads in. Entering past the sort of the outside, which just looks like any other warehouse kind of in this district. A bit of a blend of sort of industrial, some dwarven architecture in there as well. You start to see things that most of you would not recognize. Dinar, you've seen a little bit of this, having spent time in Stormhaven. Tubes lining the walls, dials and gears just kind of in various places.
Is there a clockwork spoon?
A little bit of steam kind of coming up out of various spots. And it's hard to make sense of what any of this is. It just seems to be a jumble of it. But what you open up into is probably not what you would expect. Immediately coming down a set of stairs, passing through the main door of this warehouse, there is a huge contraption to your left that, and for a quick glance, it's hard to kind of make out what it is. And then it hits you that this is a giant mechanized spider.
Oh.
But why though?
There is rubbish and refuse, like kind of all over the place, all kinds of gears and metal bars and crates and a whole array of random things. Strange little creatures. They seem to be balls of some sort of metal, but with some of them have wings, some are missing their wings, various numbers of legs and arms, one central eye in the middle. They're all kind of like tinkering around this thing, this giant spider. And you can see another one off to the right is, that's not what it should look like. Is your map doing, is it all white?
Yeah, it's loaded in
Took
now.
a
No, I
while
can
to
see it.
load.
It's loaded in now.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. It was all right. Now it's good.
There's another one that's digging in the trash off to the right. Up ahead, you can see another one kind of working at some controls there, and you see a dwarf with like bright red hair, like beard, just unkempt, just kind of like not braided or styled in any way, just fully free. Huge mane of it going down his back, just like a complete disaster. And he's just kind of watching the one creature, mechanical creature at the controls, just mindlessly kind of muttering to himself. You just see him kind of going, no, that wouldn't work.
Yo!
There's no way that would work. What? He turns and looks. Ah, Sarina. So these are the friends you've brought for me. Welcome to Lagrac's, well, workshop, I suppose, if that's what you could call it. My humble abode. I am Lagrac,
You live
artificer
here?
extraordinaire. Anyway, I live here, work here, sleep here 5 to time. Don't do much of that these days. But don't worry about these guys running around. They're my servants, my helpers. I'm not really sure what they are. I found them. Most of them were broken. I managed to restore a few of them to some sort of working condition. They seem to have minds of some sort of sentience. They're not just machines, but well, they're a little bit daft, and so it's
Why are
taken
their
a lot of work.
lips so incredibly detailed?
I'm not really sure. Again, I don't really know what they are.
What do they even need lips for?
Oh, I don't know. They don't speak. That's a good question. Anyway, and don't worry about the spider over there. It's currently
Thanks, I still
not
will.
working. Well, it's currently not working. I think.
All right. Oh, okay.
Hey.
Anyway, so what? Remind me, Serena. What am I doing for these contacts? I've got a few different names in my mind. I'm getting mixed up on who's who and what's what, and I don't owe you gents something, do I?
Right then, presenting Lord Tayland Wavesinger, Shadow's Bane, and his accompaniment, greatest major domo and articulated butler and head of the state and lord of the lower regions, Flick of the Dog Slicer clan, and then we have the court mage Dinar.
Oh, he got a promotion.
Wow.
Dinar. Wait, I've seen you. I said you, Dinar. I harder forget scales.
Yeah,
You were in Stormhaven.
I was. Former member of the Gungrim Navy. You probably saw me there.
Former. That makes two of us.
Oh, really?
Kindred spirits.
You know, when you explode one too many barrels, they tend to want to put you elsewhere, not on board a ship with all the explosives that are bound to go poof. Anyway, that I think that puts everything together now. You're looking to get deep down in the ocean. Is that correct?
Mike doesn't remember why we're here. I'm sorry.
Serena pipes in. He has a. He's pretty sure that he has a way for you all to get down to a certain individual, certain entity. We need to be able to get into the Sea of Souls, not above it. I haven't really told him all the details, only as much as was needed. But he assured me that he had a means of helping us out. So, Legrac, would you mind? Right, all right, if you don't need to tell me all the details, that's fine, that's fine. I owe Serena a favor, so, I owe her order a favor. Anyway, what's the problem with ships on the ocean? What's their limitation?
The rum cabinet's not big enough?
That's a good point, actually. I gotta make note of that. I gotta put some extra storage on next. But no, sorry, that's not what I'm getting at, though.
A lack of wind.
I mean, that's one problem for sure. But you got oars.
No, you're gonna cut me out of a business.
You got oars if you need them.
That's true, actually. Good point.
And magic.
What happens if you get a hole in your boat
You
and
sink.
you go beneath the waves?
You use magic to fix it.
But if you don't fix it, you sink.
Unless you're a duck.
You're an odd bunch.
Yes, we are.
The ocean were whiskey and I was a duck.
What if I
dived to
told
the
you
bottom and drowned to get drunk?
that I have created the world's first submersible ship
I'd say you're crazy, and then
that
ask
travels
what a
not
submersible
above the waters? Well, it can go on the waves as a normal vehicle can, but a normal vessel, but it specializes in going below.
is this a thing that you put a lot of effort into, trying to get to the bottom of the ocean?
I mean, you just said it's real easy. Put holes in the boat, down she goes. Bada bing.
But the people on board would then die, Flick, so he's obviously
Not,
found a
not if they were
solution to that.
tortoises.
Well,
You said the world's first submersible, but have you ever dealt with any more individual ways of descending to the bottom?
I mean, there's potions and the like that can give you water breathing and
No, like
that sort of thing.
exo coverings.
I've seen a few diving belts. I've
Have you
modified
personally
version of
had
it.
any involvement in them?
I've been in one. Why?
Call it a professional curiosity.
All right. Anyway, I had this idea because let's just say that I lost something below the waters many years ago, and It was out in the Sea of Storms. It was far from land, so just deep, very, very deep. Too deep to.
Yeah,
to
we've
really
all
go
dropped
off
stuff
of a
over the
ship.
side.
Let me talk, lad. Please. I'm doing a favor for you here. I've built this thing, and I'm inclined to let you borrow it, if not have it. But let me have my moment. All right. I lost something very dear to me. I couldn't get it back. I spent years trying to figure out how to get deep down there. And I figured it out.
Must have been something very important.
It was. It is. Still hope to find it down there one day. Would you like to see it?
The thing you dropped or your submersible?
No. The ship.
Yes,
Randy, daft son.
please show us so he stops talking. As Dinar points at Tayland.
Okay, I'll shut up. I'm not the one to keep yapping. I was brought up right. I know when to shut up when someone tells me to shut up. One time I was told to shut up and I near starved to
Dinar
death.
will
I wouldn't
smack
tell the
Tayland
nuns I
upside the
was
back of the
hungry.
head.
Ow!
Let the man talk.
Gentlemen, I present to you the very first submersible of the world of Eudora and the Broken Isles.
Ooh. Ah. Chat should see it now.
That's a long name.
Yeah, I just call it like a sink boat, right?
Sink boat.
Yeah, it's not a sailboat. It's a sink boat.
This here vessel will safely take you below the waves, using a little bit of artificery, combination of magic and technology. And I adapted the inner workings of some of these little drone guys that I found. Not the ones that are sentient, the ones that I guess were dead. I'm not really sure if they're alive or not, but the ruined ones that I couldn't really fix. I studied instead.
Made with creatures?
Sorry, what?
It's made with creatures?
No, I studied them.
You
And-
reverse
Oh,
engineered
okay.
their
Reverse
concepts in
engineered,
a
okay.
bigger form. I got
All
you.
right.
into a specific bigger form. So there's an automated pilot of this that keeps all the controls working together. Come on, let me introduce you. And he takes you up the stairs, kind of along the walkway, and there's a really kind of rickety wooden walkway that he's constructed
Ooh,
to take you over.
Way up
To
there.
it.
Oh, hey, there's a thing up there. Huh, neat.
Yeah. So as you step inside this vessel, you can see that it's not exactly something that you would see on display as like a prized ship of the fleet. It looks solid and sturdy enough, but there's a few questionable grandfathering of things here and there. But the doors seem solid. You can see there's magical barriers that are kind of surrounding any openings that there would be. There seems to be a force field in place that would be keeping air in and water out.
So that
There's a
appears to
whole
be
bunch of
it's a magical force field, like it's like a
yes,
film. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
There are gears and wires and all kinds of stuff that look nothing like anything you've ever seen, except for some of the mechanisms you saw in Silas's lair.
Right.
Not the same. They're not like those contraptions, but they
Possibly-
seem to be leading towards that kind of
similar technology.
invention, technology. So he's either rediscovering that or has come up with something along those same lines. Sitting at the helm, more or less, is a strange arachnid-like creature that's got multiple arms, and one of the modron heads is actually like sitting on the top of it, but it's kind of being like opened up at the bottom and like sat onto this large mechanized body, and the arms are just kind of like moving and like pressing buttons and like pulling different levers and stuff like that. This here is Atrios. Doesn't speak. Doesn't really need a name, I suppose, but well, I felt like I should give it a name anyways, right?
Did you name the submersible?
The submersible is also Atrios.
Ah, I was gonna call
They're
it the
one and the same.
I was gonna call it the bubble boat.
So, Atrios.
Is that
Trios.
is that like does that have a meaning to it at all, or is that just a fun name?
Well, it has meaning to me.
Ah. So, Flick, what are we calling this thing?
Don't you dare. You want to call it something else when you're out of my sight, that's fine, but you're going to come in here and insult my creation?
Workshop it later. It's fine.
You'll be leaving without it. That's what I'm going to say.
All right.
Well, look, as a favor entirely to Serena and her order, I am lending you this. Oh, that's hard to say.
Hell of a favor. What did she do for you?
Seriously.
I'll let her. It wasn't her specifically; it was her order. She's connected to it, but I'll let her tell you if she's so inclined. Anyway, whenever you have need of this, send me word, and I'll have it ready for you. You can take it to the deepest depths of any of the seas around the Broken Isles. You know what? I'll be coming with you wherever you go. I can't let it go out of my sight, I'm sorry. Plus, you don't really know how to drive it.
I mean,
No,
there was that.
yeah.
I was also going to say we don't know how to fix it if something goes wrong.
Yeah, this is far beyond our ability to maintain.
I'm looking at this like force field, feeling very uncomfortable.
Yeah, this feels real prone to failure type stuff. So yeah, but you'd probably be ditching at the ocean bottom anyway. So
it's not going to fail you.
It's not that we don't trust your craftsmanship. It's just more so that like I assume this thing hasn't been battle tested. So if we run across, a kraken or something, things live in the bottom of the ocean.
I guess it's true. Oh, it's got some nifty surprises. Don't you worry.
I think I read
It's
a book
not
about something
unarmed.
like this once.
You can see that there at the very front there is a mounted ballista. There are some strange contraptions that look cannon-like, but
I was
minus
going to say, oh boy,
the
a ballista.
cannon loading. It's got arms at the front that have pincers.
Yeah, I see that.
It actually looks like there's like blades on them as well.
Oh, nice. All right.
So there's some few. It's got some few tricks up its sleeves. Yeah.
pull out from the cord around my neck and just pull out Lefty's knuckle bone, give it a little kiss. Ballistas. I knew a guy. Crack shot, let me tell you. How's your robot? How's he work?
Atrios, he works all on verbal commands, actually. I've programmed him to respond to whoever, well, to myself, but whoever I designate as acting captain or commander or what have you. So, for example, Atrios, I can't say that. Atrios, close the hatch. And there's a hatch up above, which you see is kind of the more permanent entrance to it. Actually, just There's some gears that are connected to, again, various wires and pipes and stuff, and it just closes, and you see a little lock go.
Interesting.
Furious, open.
Easy.
Of course, you can do it manually as
Does
well.
it only work when you say it, or does it also work if any of us say it?
Well, I can command it to listen to you, so I can designate
maybe
who I want
not
it to listen to.
Maybe not specifically him, though. Pointing to Tayland.
All right.
How many different commands does it have?
Enough. It's look. It's not a person. All right. You can't have a conversation with it and tell it to, like, make a tea or something. But it knows what it needs to do. It's got functional commands for what's involved in operating, and the rest there is some obviously manual things that you can do as well. It's not entirely mechanical. That would just be daft, leaving it all up to the machine, and then you not being able to control anything. I mean, that'd be stupid.
That would be foolhardy, yes.
Anyway. So, whenever you're ready, if you want to depart, you need to go to the bottom of the ocean or across the ocean. I mean, again, it can travel pretty fast.
I have a
I
question.
decided to test it out, actually. Sure.
What's the benefit to traveling under the water where all the monsters live than above the water where they don't?
Do you know what else other than monsters is at the bottom of the ocean?
Yes.
Monsters.
More
Treasure.
monsters. Don't get me wrong, there are monsters above the waves too. Big ones with feathers.
Do you know how many ships have sunk down there?
I think I see where you're going with this. I rescind my question.
Lots of
Do we know why
scary.
Let's go get money.
And besides that as well,
Don't we have enough
much-
money? Jeez.
how much history do you know about this region? Do you know what was here before the deluge?
I imagine I probably know a fair bit from reading, right?
We've had some experience with some of the ruins down there as well.
Right, so you've seen some, so you know that there's lots to be found beneath the waves. There's lots to be discovered down there.
Shiny little trinkets like this, and Flick pulls out a shield. Ding, ding.
Sure. But you see what I'm getting at? There's lots to be explored, lots to be found down there. And rather than having a ship, anchored to the surface that you have to go out of and rely on some sort of diving bell or potions or what have you, you've got the safety of this entire hull that can go down there with you, and you can go back and forth in and out.
Yeah,
with it
how's
close
that
by.
work? I'm pretty solid on the concept of don't put holes in the boats because they sink. So when this thing's under the water, how do we get out of it without putting holes in it and making it sink?
All the force fields that are around the
Are those?
portholes in the entrance. The force fields, magic.
Oy vey. All right, let's
The barrier keeps
Okay.
keeps whatever's inside in the air, but you can pass through it.
But then
That's
how do
one
we
way
get
to-
back in?
Same way.
We passed through it.
So it lets people in and out. Aren't there
It's
like
it's very specific enchantments. Look,
so let's pretend the ship is a
do you
suit,
understand
okay?
magic?
Again with the soup.
Look, you're a wizard. Dinar, you're a wizard.
I am.
You understand with enchantments that you can specify properties of certain enchantments.
Yes.
There you go.
And for the record, these two numbskulls do too. I'm pretty sure they're just yanking your
So
chain.
what you're asking me all these questions for then? You know how magic works. You create a force field that's a specific barrier that's key to a specific creature type or a specific person or a specific thing, keeps out one thing, lets another thing in. It's pretty common in the world of magic, There's entire spell books have got all sorts of spells that do this sort of thing. Abjuration spells, shields that protect you against one thing, but it's pretty common actually.
You've
I haven't got to
basically
that chapter yet, but
No,
I understand soup and strainers, so yeah, we're good.
Great. All right. Listen, since I'm coming with you, I'm more than happy to take all the control and worry about all that stuff, and you just do whatever you need to do. I'll take where you need to go. That's fine. But if you're interested in more of the mechanics of how it works, then I'd be more than happy to show you. Pretty proud of it, actually, of all the things that I've managed to accomplish here.
I can tell. Flick's
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
just
find
sort
another
of,
one of these around.
he's sort of wandering around while he's been talking. He's really checking out the automaton at the front here. Like, what?
So it's weird. It's sort of humanoid, like torso, with like one of those modified Modron heads is like on the top. That's kind of like melded into these like metal shoulders. Some of it is crude craftsmanship. You can see that he's tried to create like the concept, at least, of like making it a little bit more humanoid. But that stops at about waist, where it just becomes gears and sort of more of like a box shape that it's sitting on. And there's like lots of gears and things just turning and spinning in there. And you can see the multiple different arms that are coming out of it. Some of them seem almost like they're actually fastened to specific levers, like that's their entire intention. And others, there's kind of little consoles that got various dials and buttons, and each appendage is reaching out to kind of one of those. It's not mobile at all. Like, it doesn't turn around or anything. It's the torso and the head are fixed in place as these arms move around. But you can see that the eye on the top can kind of move around a little bit. And as you get closer, you see the eye just kind of goes.
All I'm picturing is Pilot from Farscape. So he's in his big den. He's got 6 arms and lots of controls to run. Yeah. This is what I'm feeling here. And Flick is already anthropomorphizing this thing. It's like, all right, little fella, you gonna look after us? That'd be great.
No response. Eye goes back to whatever it's doing, and they're not exactly sure what it's doing, as the ship is immobile at the moment, but it is just kind of like, seems to be controlling, levels of different things. Like, you can see some steam gauges, different dials showing, various levels of things, and it's kind of just adjusting it, keeping things where they're supposed to be.
He's been mistreating you. Blink twice.
Eye just kind of goes back.
All right.
You can give me an insight check if you want.
On which, the ship or the guy?
on Atrios.
Yeah, there's a solid 15.
Hey.
Nice.
And you don't really speak Robot, but
seems on the level.
Doesn't seem to show any distress. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a neat little thing.
Certainly something that we'll be making use of at some point in the future.
Wonderful. I'll have it ready for you. Got some other projects I'm working on here, but I'll put them aside when the time comes. You know where to find me, or you can get word to me. They'll be there.
Very good. Well, Dinar's going to kind of lift up his jacket a little bit and point to the silver cage. We got some business to attend to, guys, so maybe let's go back to our beds.
All right. As you make your way out, as when you leave, you see the modules that are working on this arachnid. One of them flips a switch on it, and Talon, just out of the corner of your eye, you see one of the legs on the arachnid just go. Zzz. Just a slight little twitch. Just not in totally completely inert. It seems to possibly be active. Just enough to scare you a little bit. All right. You guys make your way out, and you're heading back to the safe house.
Unless somebody has somewhere they want to go.
Nah, we just got a submersible, so
That's sink boat.
So Flick, what are we calling him?
Oh boy. I know it's just kind of sat there, right? Seems a little sad.
Does
You know, it
Is
has
it-
a name, right?
isn't it like can it be sad? Like what?
Feels sad to me. I don't know. I need to get to know it better before I, get to know my way around it. It'll happen organically. We can't force it, man.
Well, all right then. Right.
So you make your way back to the safe house.
Yes. The house of safety.
You
All right,
find
well.
Torque
Ah,
is
in
gone.
his- Oh. Where do you think he went?
To find Desfuna, if I had to guess.
There's no notes.
You
There's
might have-
nothing.
Well,
Just
somebody send him a spell and let him know we can now go underwater. So if ever there was a chance to find Desfuna, we've got it.
Uh,
You know,
I mean, I could send him one more time today. That'd be almost the last thing that I could do today.
I mean, what time is it? Still like
it's night.
mid. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's,
I
it's
mean, I
getting
don't-
into the night now.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to drink into a coma and then wake up.
Well, then we'll figure out Torque tomorrow, I suppose.
I mean, you could message him if you like, just to check in on him. Hold on. Can I do a quick survey of the area to see if I can figure out like where he might have been, or see if I can see where he's gone?
Like you want to just the
Yeah, it was like check to see if he's left behind any like, because you said no note or anything, but like surely
sure.
he's a big guy. We probably would have been able to tell that like something's been disturbed, whether it be dust or part of the grass or road outside or something.
Give me
like that.
an investigation check then. Yeah.
All right.
Is there a murder board with a map and a giant X on it somewhere?
18.
18. Okay. There's no signs of a disturbance or fight or struggle or anything
Sure.
like that. There is a slight depression on the wooden floor where Torque had been sitting for an extended period of time, where the boards are kind of just ever so slightly just dipped in. He's a big guy.
A meditation divot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kanan, his meditation divot. Not to be confused with a meditation duvet, which is very comfortable. But other than that, there's none of his belongings are left behind. Like Whelming Wrath is gone.
Okay.
He seems to have just walked out. There's no real indication of where. I would say you do see footsteps leading back in. Like there's a couple. It's hard to like once you get out into the main road.
Yeah.
But you can see some Torque-sized prints leading back towards the city.
It's the
I'll
end of
point
the
this
day.
out.
All right. I will use a locate object on Whelming Wrath. If it's within 1,000 feet of us, then I know the object's location. That'll
Probably
tell
doesn't
us.
hurt.
It'll tell us if Torque is still in town or if he's gone.
Well, I don't know. How big's the town?
Well, yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, 1,000 feet is usually like, a small town, but this looks like a big city, so.
Mhm. Yeah, 1,000 feet would probably get you like inside the city wall.
Well, I'll still do it anyways, because if he's somewhere within walking distance, then we can chat
Okay.
with him.
Just
In
for
person.
reference, 1,000 feet is 0.18 miles.
Yeah, it's actually not that far.
Oh yeah. Stupid
I mean,
miles.
it's a good distance. Like I've definitely like I would imagine a small town to be about 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
It
That's
doesn't
what I'm
hurt.
saying. From where you guys are now, like you're in a small town outside of the big
Yeah,
city.
I'd say it's
basically,
still
so-
worth doing because I mean he's either long gone or he's still within the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's close enough to run to
Um,
and talk to that I don't have to burn a sending spell.
You do not get a ping within your 1,000-foot radius.
Well, he's not anywhere close. But I can check in on him if you guys would like. Maybe wise to do.
Probably a good idea to at least make sure he's okay, right?
Yeah. Dinar will pull out his fine copper wire and burn his final 3rd level spell for the day. And cast Sending to Torque. And he'll just say this out loud. At the end of the day, he's tired. Hey, Torque. It's Dinar. Just wondering where you're at. We're back at the inn. Met some interesting folks today. Oh, and we got a submersible. Not that he'll know what that is necessarily.
There's no immediate response. For a moment, you're afraid you're not going to get one. You know that they connected, so you know he's alive. All you hear back, very short to the point. She's alive. I need to find her. That's it.
What do you say? 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 What do you say?
You
What do you
hear
say? What do you
there's
say?
an
What do you say? What do you say?
urgency in his voice.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?
Shut up! Serena said,
That's what he said.
like, smack him
Probably.
upside the head, would you?
Can you imagine how much
Got
of a freaking alpha move that is? Somebody casts Sending on you and you just reply back, "Shut up."
Shut up.
Block this number.
Yeah.
So, Serena was talking about...
Trying to reach is no longer available.
Hello, the person you are trying to send is no longer available.
So Serena said that she overheard Torque muttering something about Desfuna and knowing where
yes.
she was.
That's just normal Torque.
That is what he said.
Basically, what Torque said in response was, she's alive. So I'm guessing Desfuna is not dead.
Desfuna, I'm very curious how that works. I don't understand any of this stuff, and I grew up in a freaking temple.
I'm not that type either, but maybe she found a way to spare
Maybe
herself.
his zealotry is so strong.
Maybe in giving up her spirit to Torque or something,
But
maybe
where
that
is
made
he
her mortal.
Going to find her.
He did not say. He just said she's alive.
Cool.
We're
And
gonna have
hanging
to-
out in town? Like, what the hey?
Yeah, you know
Is
Torque.
he
He's
like-
very brief.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, do we just wait for him?
Well, I don't have any way to message him again today, so we're gonna have to hope that he returns or that he tells us somehow where he is.
All right. I mean, we don't know where he is. There's not much else I mean, we could ask around. I mean, he's not exactly inconspicuous.
Tomorrow I could scry on him and figure
Wow,
out exactly where he is.
You know, Dinar, the more powerful you get as a wizard, the more I fear for you.
Why?
You're very quick to just violate all kinds of personal lines. It's like, I'll just spy on him tomorrow. It's fine. I'll just put his soul in a cage. It's fine.
Oh yeah, speaking of that.
You remember that conversation we had a while back about wizardry and mages and all their crazy powerful spells and the fact that they, often look down on those. Do you remember this conversation? It was
Yes,
a while back. It was a while back.
Abjuration.
Yes, yes. But you do recall this conversation, right? And you said something.
What did I say?
You said that you were never going to become that kind of mage. And I'd like to come back to the magical power all corrupting sort of thing that we were talking about. And, Flick, yeah, you could back me up on this. I mean, he's putting souls in cages. Now, granted, it's Runix's soul, so
Yeah, it barely counts.
it barely counts. But still, it's a thing he can do.
It's the principle. I understand.
And also, when presented with a problem, his solution is just, we'll just spy on him.
But it's Torque.
Very, very nonchalantly.
But it's Torque.
It's a slippery slope. I'm just saying. I'm watching you. I get it. Rick, you told me to keep you honest, and I'm doing my job.
And I appreciate that. Keeping me honest.
You're getting into some of that. Like I am beneath. You are beneath me. I am so far above the common folk with all these powerful magics. Just keep an eye on that.
Okay.
As soon as you start calling yourself Archmage, we'll have this discussion again.
Listen here, Lord Talent Wave Singer, whatever other crap that you have given yourself. Are you kidding me? You're going to talk to me about putting myself above everybody else? The only reason that I am exploring this type of magic is because of what we're about to face. You think I go lightly at stealing souls, at scrying on people? No. What are we about to deal with? A reality-devouring deity thing outside of our existence. So yeah, I might have to break a rule here or there of morality because there's a much bigger thing at stake. But keep me honest.
Just make sure that whatever you're willing to break your rules for is worth how you're going to be dealing with it afterwards.
I know. I will answer for these things.
You break too many rules, and there's only one way out.
That's fair. And if it ever comes to that, then I'm sure you'll be there. And Dinar will
Deal.
sarcastically, Lord Talent Wave Singer. And at that, Dinar will actually leave and go to a room where he can do his immoral deed with the soul cage on his own, because apparently...
Practice his black magic.
Yeah. Pulls out his copy of Maze's Monsters.
Ooh, the Darkhold.
Tom Hanks
this?
peeks in from the other room. Hey.
What's this Necronomicon thing? Look at these fancy spells.
What am I do? I'm gonna say. Okay. So Dinar, you go into your bedroom. I'm going to my room. Go to your room.
Go to my
slam the
room.
door.
Slam the door.
Yeah.
And do all the necromancy.
You can't stop.
It's not a phase.
You're not my dad.
Imagine if I was, though.
All right, emo Dinar.
Well,
Comes back out with black eyeliner underneath. What are we doing?
rolling in my robes.
Well, if the other guys want to do something before I do my thing, I just spent a whole lot of time
Yeah, I mean-
talking, so...
you guys could go.
Well, guess I better hit the old rockin' hammock.
I think Talon was pretty insistent on beer in bed.
Yeah, I mean, if we got nothing else to do,
basically.
as far as I'm concerned, the only thing we could do at this point is go on a madcap search for pork. But other than asking around, hey, have you seen a turtle? I don't know what else our options are, which I mean might be worth doing. I guess real quick, I know we're outside the city, but remind me where the encounter was, where we ended up with like the urchins and stuff, or at least like connecting with them. That was like further in the city, right?
Yes. That would have been. Where would that have been? It was when you're running through the arena district, I think.
Yeah. So that was
where that would have been.
very far away from
the
here.
open markets in the arena district, yeah. And you're running through there.
Can I do a quick like just check to see if I notice any urchins or urchin adjacent folk around us?
Like on the, kind of in Feldtown, like in the outskirts?
Just in our area. Like, I don't want to go like I don't want to range far out from where we are, but maybe like within a short walk from where we're stationed, if I could just see if there's any either urchins or like beggars or anybody who's connected to that network.
Yeah, sure.
And I would like to invoke my background, which is city secrets. Because I know the secret patterns and flow to cities and can find passages and urban sprawls. And when I'm not in combat, I can travel between locations twice as fast, yada yada. But the point is that this is where I grew up. I was an urchin here. I know the flow and the ink, and it's been a while, but I feel like I'd still be able to work within that.
Absolutely. So yeah, even in the kind of outskirts here, to the town outside the wall, there's lots of urchin types. There's older buildings that squatters kind of take residence in. So it's not hard for you to track down.
Cool. Who do I find? Is it just like is it like a child? Is it a?
You find a couple of not there's probably older children, like close to teenage years.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna again kind of just be like, all right. I got a proposition for all of yous. You want to earn some jink?
All right, light up. Eager.
All right then. Yes. See, what we're looking for? Big turtle man, right? Them turtle folk. Not too many of them around. You know what I'm talking about.
I've seen one.
Yeah. I tell you what. You can tell me where he's been, where he's going, where he ought to be. There's a lot of money in it for interested parties.
How much are we talking, sir?
How many are in your little network? And you don't have to give me the exact number, just rough.
What's that about Baker's dozen or so?
Right then. Let's say a gold piece each.
You serious?
Two if you can keep tailing on him for the rest of the night. Consider it a gift from an old friend. Just whistle drunken sailor down so-and-so alleyway that's within earshot of where I am.
All right.
And I'll come find you.
If
I'm not gonna give them the address, right? Like that's mainly what I'm going for here.
If you don't come through, that there's a lot of us that can find you.
I'll just reach in and just flip 3 gold coins, one to each of them.
They take it and like run off, not like running away, like we got your gold, but you understand.
They know there's more.
You understand? Yeah, they're off to find.
Yep.
The wonderful torque.
Well,
Loggerheads.
that's that. I'm gonna have a nippy sweetie.
All right.
I think so my intention there is like I think we're probably still going to end up sleeping tonight. Like I don't think it makes sense to run out after him. I'm more so when I wake, in the morning when we wake up, I'm basically just looking to be like, "Yep, give me the report. What'd you find? Where is he? Where's he
Yep.
going? What's going on?" And then we can
Yep.
we have
Okay.
access to like teleports and stuff, right? Like we can
Yeah, you're establishing your informant network.
exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go past
Sounds
him.
good. All right. Flick, anything?
Other than short sheeting Serena's bed and rummaging through the trash a little bit, I think that's my evening.
Short sheeting Serena's bed?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure I know what that means.
All right.
Like turning her sheets sideways, cutting off the ends of them? What does it mean?
When you short sheet someone's bed, it's a practical joke you play on someone where it looks like their bed is made, but when they get into it, they get all tangled up in the sheet.
That's amazing. Oh man, that's funny.
All right.
Question is, does it work?
Find out.
Ooh.
Now researching. Oh, you mean,
get
yeah,
to-
short sheeting as a concept works. Does it work on
Sure.
Serena?
Yeah, does it work on Serena? Serena is
Yeah.
really what I'm thinking because she's
Oh.
a very insightful and perceptive.
Careful,
Observant,
meticulous
yes.
person. Yeah. Checks her bed for poison before she gets in. Traps or whatever.
Well, did I find her Achilles heel finally?
We will find out. Dinar.
Yep.
Time running out. You've got the soul cage in your possession. Runix trapped within.
Assumedly Runix.
I'm
Dinar-
assuming you're using the query soul.
Well, I'm going to start with that. I'll post it here for you guys to read as well.
You'll start with
That's
that.
it. So there's different things you can do. There's 4 different things that you can do. We've seen humanoids die before, and never seen them with a black soul smoke that leaves their body. So,
We've seen humanoids die before.
well,
Manny.
so Dinar is, while that entity looked like Runix, is not entirely certain that what we killed was Runix. So I will start with a query. A query? Query? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that word.
Query.
Query the soul. And I will just ask the question. What happened to Runix?
The telepathic response you get back. I am Runix. Their answers are brief.
Yep. And they can be cryptic.
Not cryptic. It's just you said what happened to Runix. It said
Yep.
I guess it can be cryptic, yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
just said I'm Runix.
Okay. Runix was not a vampire or an undead. What did they do to you to make you that way?
I'm a revenant. Sent by High Captain Vargost.
Does ship Vargost have association with Triskades?
Yes.
I don't remember if we knew that already, so...
You did not.
Hey!
I'm pretty sure that's new information.
That's 3?
That's 3 questions, yeah. 4th question. Did Ship Vargost force you to work for them? Or did you volunteer of your own volition?
I have no choice. It is their will, not mine. His will, not mine.
It's going to be burning it, but I don't have a follow. Well, another question. When you say his will, do you mean Triskades?
Yes.
Okay. Last thing that I'm going to do with this soul is called Eyes of the Dead. You can use an action to name a place the humanoid saw in life, which creates an invisible sensor somewhere in that place if it is on the plane of existence you are currently on. The sensor remains for as long as you concentrate, up to 10 minutes. As if you were concentrating on a spell, you receive visual and auditory information from the sensor as if you were in its space using your senses. So, I'm only going to get 10 minutes. It's late, but let's see. Can you show me the place where you had all of your face-to-face meetings with Ship Farghost?
You're not query souling.
No, this is me, sorry, requesting Eyes of the Dead, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, how exactly does it say you see this sensor remains? You receive visual and auditory information from the sensor as if you were in its space. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a moment of darkness where your vision kind of clouds, and then your eyes kind of open. You see yourself inside of what looks to be a ship's cabin, but much larger. And then you realize that it's more like a throne room, more like a meeting, like it's in a house, it's in a large mansion, but it's been decorated to kind of resemble a very large captain's cabin. There are two individuals currently in this room. One of them you don't recognize, a rather almost like overgrown dwarven figure. Definitely a dwarf, but much bulkier and slightly taller than average. Greasy black hair. You can see this person from behind. Very ornate red leather jacket that's got gold trim along the edges, around the cuffs as well, and along the bottom. The hair is like greasy black, and after a moment you can actually see that it almost seems to be moving. There's something otherworldly to it. Decked out like the fanciest pirate captain you've ever seen, like big leather boots. You can only assume that this is the High Captain Farghost. But there's something unusual about him. There's a dread to him. There's this darkness that's connected to him, an aura surrounding him. You've seen enough of Triskades' influence that you can kind of sense that even through this sensor that you're looking through, you can see that there's his influence on this individual.
Mm.
The person that he's looking at, you immediately recognize as Uragani, the vampire captain of the Dread Asuna.
That's the one we had a conversation with.
Yeah, she's the one we made a deal with.
Yeah.
She's the one who serves Umbra.
Okay.
She's
okay.
standing face to face with High Captain Farghost. And as you enter into this space in the conversation, she's the one that is speaking. Look, it has become very clear that your master is the one that is going to win this war. I have my reasons to do what I am doing. The only question I have for you, Captain, is do you have a place for what I offer you? The other figure's voice, deep, gravelly. It sounds almost like there's like being kind of like an injury, perhaps, to their vocal cords or their throat. It's not for me to say. You know that I answer to him and his will alone now. It is not my choice. But if you go through with this, you are making a powerful enemy of your former patron. Are you sure that you want to go through with it? Organi pauses for a moment. You see her smile, her fangs just kind of peeking through. Umbra is weak. Your master proved it. He is not what he once was. He's deranged, delusional. You know what I was forced to do. To use those pathetic mortals to do the will of Umbra, something that I should have been called upon to do. To hunt down Umbra's enemies. Instead, he gave that task to these nobodies. Umbra would never have done that in his prime. He's gone mad. I no longer feel that my interests align with his. And I've seen the power that your master can offer. So yes, I know that I am making an enemy of Umbra, but I don't really care. I don't really fear him, not anymore. What more could he do to me anyway? Very well. My master accepts your offer. We welcome the Yasuna to the fleet of Port Vargos. Will there be anything else, Captain Oregon? She steps forward a little bit, puts a hand on his shoulder. That depends. Have you ever considered becoming a vampire? She laughs and he sort of am one of sorts, if you haven't noticed, just not the same way that you are. She turns, gives a slight bow, walks out of the room. And you just catch, as your time runs out, you catch as Vargos turns and sits on pretty much a throne, more or less. And from your vantage point, you finally see kind of the corner of his face. And there's just like black goo just smeared down the entire side of his face and in his beard. And you can see the hair just like moving kind of on its own, little wispy tendrils just coming up, almost as if his beard is becoming tendrils and ick instead of hair. And he sits there and he's flipping a coin in his right hand, just kind of rolling it back and forth on his fingers. He's kind of looking around. Then he looks over, tilts his head as he sees the translucent image of a tormented Runix standing in his room, and he goes, Runix. What are you doing here? Wait. And he begins to stand up and move towards the sensor. He comes closer and looks kind of into the translucent eyes. Passes a hand through it. Runix, but not Runix. Interesting. Just goes and sits back down. Ignores it. Continues flipping the coin on his hand. Your time runs out with that image.
And with that, so does my hold on Runix's soul.
The cage kind of shudders a bit, and that black, tenderly kind of puff of smoke just raises out and immediately just fades up. It just keeps going up. Floats out of your room. Vanishes.
I'm gonna have to ask Jorand what a revenant is. And Dinar will pack up the silver cage into his pack. Crawl into bed.
Okay. Flick,
Oh, please don't go into somebody else.
are you watching the bed? You're in his bed, or have you just kind of done that and left it and gone to bed yourself?
I have done that, and let me just double check. Oh, I will ritual cast alarm on her bed as well, just know so I know when she's gotten in. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Are you in your bed?
Yeah, I'm
Yourself
off
to
my
bed?
bunk now, so I'll get a mental notification when she's gotten in bed.
Okay. You kind of lie awake, waiting. Eventually, a couple hours go by. Kind of drifted off. Haven't heard anything. Somewhere around first watch of the night, probably. The alarm triggers in your head, wakes you up.
Just smile to myself and roll over.
There's Philby.
A few moments later, there's a tap on the door.
Hello.
Are you decent?
Well, that's
I
a
mean, in
loaded
manner of-
question.
No, I mean in manner of dress, not in mind. You
Decent
hear a bit of
enough.
humor in her voice. She just cracks open the door a little bit. I'm assuming that was you. Well done.
Absolutely.
Look, Vic. I know you don't trust me. I'm not sure if there's anything personal in that or not, or if it's just your nature versus my nature, but Hopefully this will help. And she tosses in a rolled sheet of parchment and just kind of tosses it in the room. Lands on the floor near the bed. She closes the door.
Hmm.
I will gingerly pick it up. Check it for explosive runes. Shake out any sneeze powder or whatever. All right. What do we got?
In her handwriting, this seems to be fairly recently dried. That you get the idea that this is what she's been staying up late penning. It is a rather detailed description of her order. Its name, what they do, and the fact that there are only 5 of them left.
Well, all right.
And the rest gets pretty personal from Serena. And I will send you that in DM.
Ooh. See, open book. That's all I ever asked for. Jeez. Some people, and I'll eat it.
Of course you do.
Committing it to memory, obviously, but you know.
And as sleep overtakes all of you with various moral quandaries and personal questions flittering through your minds, giving you strange dreams, that is where we will end tonight's episode. And we will pick it up after a couple weeks of some Legacy of the Lost Empire. Pathfinder will be coming back. We're excited for that. So please look forward to a couple episodes of some Ian DMing or GMing, sorry, and some pathfinding. And we'll pick this up in a few weeks' time, and hopefully Jack will be back with us. We miss you, Jack. We need you here, buddy. But yes, that is it for this evening. So thank you very much for joining us, and until next time, happy gaming. Bye-bye.